A lot of comments like that, and they have improved it tremendously through the years. So I'm sure it will continue to be better, because a lot of people are lost, you know, circling around the area looking for this. So they know it's here somewhere, but they can't quite find the sign.
Is that the actual spot where it crashed over there?
Yeah, right beyond the flag, near the fence.
Okay.
Excuse me, near the tree, where that pickup is right now.
Right. What are they doing over there?
I don't know. I assume they're doing something for the ceremony on Monday. This is the anniversary.
Right.
The families will be down there.
So this is just a temporary memorial? Like,
Yeah.
what's the final one going to be like?
It'll be a U.S. National Park. And this was the design they chose for it. They had a competition.
Oh, okay.
Over 1,000 entries. Up at Route 30, there'd be a 93-foot bell tower with 40 wind chimes.
Right.
One for each passenger and crew member. And then you drive close to this area, and this field area would be one huge circular design of red and sugar maple trees.
Mm-hmm.
A part of the circle would be the visitor center. And then as you exit the visitor center, you could walk the pathway that the plane took. It went this direction from the back of that hill.
Right.
And you could walk clear down to where the flag is. Now, this is where the flag would be.
Oh, okay.
Right now, this is as close as we're allowed to go, but
Right.
for the permanent memorial, you could go right down.
Is the crater still there, or have they filled it in?
No, they filled it in and planted grass. They went down, they found debris down 40 feet, so of course they went deeper than that, so it was all torn up in here. So
Right.
out of respect, they filled it in and planted grasses. It is a cemetery.
So the plane came from that direction?
Yes, it came from Route 30.
Right.
Do you know where the Stoystown auto wreckers are? It's about 1,000, or thousands and thousands of junk cars.
Oh yeah, I passed it on the way here. That big junkyard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right back of that hill, and nose first upside down on the ground.
Wow.
The people at the recycling center here saw it. The plane went about 30 feet over one man's head. Saw the belly of it on its way in.
So Monday, what time do you plan on getting to the park?
They said, come early. I would think that
Mark Bingham.
this picture was taken. They found 95% of the plane. Each family was able to bury some of their loved. But that's why we consider this significant. They were killed, screaming. They didn't catch it in the huge explosion. Very wonderful man got to be closely involved with the families and was very kind to them and caring. And he told them their loved ones didn't suffer at the explosion because they died within a split second. Their suffering happened before, during the terror that they endured.
So now is this, does the government buy all this?
They're in the process of acquiring it. They haven't been finalized. Some acreage here and there has been donated, but the majority of it will be purchased.
Okay.
Now this is the biggest piece they found of the plane. It was 6 by 3 feet. It was laying on the ground near the crater.
Yeah, it's charred.
This cloud picture was taken from a mile away within seconds of the crash. The FBI said that had to be within a couple seconds because the wind immediately moved the cloud east toward Bedford and all this debris kept falling out of it as it went. So they had to send people tracking it, climbing on rooftops and treetops and through fields to find the debris that had fallen. There's an early picture of the firemen. Local volunteer firemen rushed over hoping they could help somebody. They were completely floored because they couldn't even be sure if the plane was in that little hole, let alone where there were any people.
Did they know that was the plane coming, or they just thought it was an aircraft?
They knew, well, at first it wasn't known or largely believed it was part of the national scene.
Yes,
that plane, but a lot of people saw this plane because it was way too low. Normally a plane going up here is 30-some thousand feet up. This one was like 2,000 to 1,000 feet. It was below the radar. At first I thought these guys didn't know how to fly and I was making fun of them, but then they said, no, the air traffic controllers were telling other pilots, look for the plane, you see a plane. So they were flying under the radar, but it was very obvious to thousands of witnesses that this plane's way too low, it's full speed, and it was behaving oddly. The wings were dipping. Some witnesses thought it was upside down or sideways. They think the terrorists were dipping the wings trying to knock the passengers off their feet as they were trying to get in the cockpit. So it attracted a lot of attention. People were frightened when they saw this
And how far is this from Washington?
15 minutes, about 15 minutes.
It's about 150 miles or so, isn't it?
Well, more like 300 some miles, but at 580 miles an hour in that plane, it was 15 or so minutes out.
How big was the debris field? Because I've heard different stories. I've heard it was all confined to the crater over there, and I've also seen like early news reports that debris was strewn for 3 or 4 miles.
Not that far. 80% of the plane was in the crater, plus I'm sure there's a lot of other debris, but all of this debris field was, this acreage here was all full of debris, especially downwind of the flight. That's where the woods caught fire and the engine was found in one of the ponds here on the property. But no, the only other debris that was found miles away came from this cloud.
Okay.
That went down toward Bedford County. People found bits and pieces of the flight. The cloud went over my house. I found all kinds of small pieces of black webbing, different sizes. But one piece of paper, it looked like it had just been ripped out of a notebook. It had a airport runway picture in like Denmark or some foreign country on one side and a different runway on another side, like it had come out of a pilot's notebook.
Yes.
Wow. It was wrinkled just a little bit, but it wasn't burned.
Really?
And I talked to a woman this summer, and she lived downwind toward New Baltimore, and she had a different piece of paper out of that same notebook.
Oh my gosh.
This is the only plane of the 4 that the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder were found intact, right?
I'm sure they didn't find the ones in the towers. I'm sure they were
Right.
destroyed. I'm not sure about the Pentagon.
Mhm.
But yes, these were found down in the trade.
Both of them were?
Yes.
Okay.
These are our local volunteer firemen rushing here to help somebody, but they didn't know what to do. They couldn't.
Oh, isn't that cute? Mr. Homeland Security.